This video is made for adult collectors because rare. What's one of the rarest things in your collection? So I think it's safe to assume that Transformers Animated's toy line has some pretty rare pieces in it, like a lot. But it also has some of the more iconic rare Transformers pieces in its domain. I've sort of unintentionally started a rare animated collection with some of my recent pickups, and I do intend on tracking some more down, but I'm not gonna go full Kian Carlisle on this. Hi Kian. This figure is rare for people over here in North America. Hydrodive Bumblebee, who had a sweet looking flat yellow deco that we will never see. I wonder if Hasbro has it still kicking around somewhere. I'd love to see that. But this being the Takara one, it's covered in metallic paint, and I'm not a fan of Takara's need to cover all their animated toys in metallic paint. They were flat in the show, so the metallic looks really out of place to me. But this was the bee everyone wanted back in the day, even me, because it was more accurate and scaled better than the other toys. Though that probably goes to the Legacy one now, because the Legacy one is just great. I still want that old deluxe, but this one will do for now, and it's very interesting. The choice to use a more pearly gold and the metallic kind of clashes visually, and it's weird to me, but the rest of it looks cool. I love how small some of the parts are. Like on the other deluxe, the feet were way too big, and here they just feel like they're about the right size. Seeing as this is a Takara figure, everything that needs to be painted is painted and done pretty well. Though on mine, there's some chipping in the metallic spots and some of the black parts due to this being used. His head is nice, if a bit big in my opinion, and the light piping doesn't work super well, but given the right angle, it does glow. He does come with these two Jet Booster Stinger accessories that can peg into his back to do the jetpack thing, or into his arms to allow for a few different display and play options, which is nice. But the big thing he comes with is this massive jetpack underwater thing, hence the name Hydrodive. This thing is neat. It clips onto his back and folds over his head to create a wing pack of sorts, and the stingers can peg into the back to make it look like he's being propelled along. I really like this concept. It's like a jetpack for Takara's Clear Prime, which I still want. But that's ultimately all this mode does. So Bumblebee's articulation is actually pretty advanced for something as old as he is. Because if you're used to animated toys, you're used to them just being like, okay. In their posing, his shoulders clip in, and I clipped it in by accident. But like this guy isn't. But one thing I do want to point out quickly before I do is like, you see all this like black paint chipping stuff that's just coming off of this? Yeah, this figure was used. Anyways, the articulation. The head is on a ball joint that has, you can't tilt that much other than that, which is a little annoying, but he can look up really far and left and right, and like it works. It just works. You have a shoulder joint that can do a full 360 almost. The sculpt stops it from going, but it can go all the way around. His shoulders are like weirdly designed, trigger happy, hot rod style shoulders, where they do that and then they rotate forward like this. They're very strange shoulders, and they only go out about that far. You do have a bicep rotation. You have a 90-degree bend at the elbow. Oh, and because it's on a ball joint, you can do this. I've seen people display their Bumblebee like this, and I find that kind of funny. Anyways, he does have a waist joint. That's nice. Your hips can go forward that far, they can go back that far, but they do start to bend out at an angle as you move the foot forward, just due to how all of this is sculpted in here. You can't see that, because my camera is stupid, how this is all sculpted in here. You have thigh rotation, you have a little over 90 degrees of bend at the knee, and then for an animated toy, ankle tilt. You have ankle tilt on an animated, so you can like really get this guy going. I can see why a lot of people thought this was the best Bumblebee mold at the time, because like you can do so much with this tilt your ankle, idiot. You can do so much with this thing. I mean, granted, now I still think this is a superior Bumblebee toy, just because like I haven't folded his heels out. But because, like, he can do more stuff than this. And he feels a little bit nicer than this to me, anyways. Because this was used and this is all rickety and weird. But, yeah, he's actually, that's really, really good. So that's B. He's neat, but that's really it. He's just neat. But I got him at TFCon, LA. This is far from the rarest animated toy I found at TFCon, though. I found this. The prototype for animated Bulkhead. I got this from Blast for the Past from the late Derek J. Wyatt's collection, and this is super cool to have. And it was only $65, which is insane, but I'm missing the fingers and the head. Though once they find them, they're gonna let me know, so that's really cool. This one's weird because it doesn't say not for resale on it, but everything else about it is the same. It feels like the official, works like the official, and it's from Derek's boxes, so it's the same. It just doesn't have the not for sale marking on it. Feels to me like this may be like an engineering pilot, but who knows? It's still cool though. But back to Bumblebee, transformation. So, but mine has an issue because of how used it is, and I remember when I was messing with this with Sam's Forge at the bar at TFCon, I was really scared with this neck, and he thought it was the funniest thing ever. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to collapse the arms. They just slide in like that. And then we're going to open this section up and then rotate the head in. Now notice it's on this giant clear plastic piece. Yeah, I don't like that, especially considering it starts making this noise. I don't like that noise at all. But once you get that closed, you can then close that up and make sure everything's lined up to form the back of the car. Then we are going to bring the shoulders in like so. And then we're going to fold these around like that. Like so, rotate the thigh swivel and peg the legs together, like so. And then you're going to collapse this entire thing in, and it's going to peg into the arms. So once you get that all worked in, there you go. There you have animated Bumblebee in his car mode. That's super simple, really compact. He really does shrink. Like this is like the size of those like $30 Microsoft mice you can get at the grocery store. Like, I have actually accidentally used this as a mouse at one point. And then if you want to transform the jetpack piece, that's just flip this section up and around. No, it's this way. No, you leave it like this. I'm stupid. You flip this section up and around. You then fold this in. It should slide in. Come on, there we go. Slide it in. It will also clip into place. There's 2 clips that will go into little holes. And that's pretty much it. That's it, transformed. And then if you want to attach Bumblebee, you slide him in there, clip this into the bottom, and boom. There you have Hydrodive Bumblebee. Yay! The arms are pretty generic, but the legs do some very interesting flips to make this really nice hatchback. If it weren't for the metallic paint, it would have looked like it jumped right off the screen because they nailed the shaping. The front end especially looks really good, coupled with the shapes of the side of the vehicle. It's just a satisfying shape to hold, the whole thing. I've said shape way too much. I'm gonna say it one more time, shape. Unfortunately though, you can't mount the boosters on the sides of the vehicle. They don't quite fit in the doors properly either because of where the wheels are, so they've got nowhere to stick them on top. It's pain, but you can just put them on the Hydrodive pack, which can stick to B, and now you have this thing. James Bond gadget looking head ass. It looks like a car with a submarine and handguns on the front of it because it's a car in a submarine with handguns on the front of it. I like how the paint on the front of the Hydrodive part looks like it flows into the car and then into the wings. It makes the car stick out less and blend more with the sub, which I think works quite well. And the Legacy dude kind of fits in there, which is funny, but no, it doesn't fit in robot mode, sadly. So should you try to track down this kind of rare and sometimes kind of expensive animated toy? Well, if you want it purely because it scales, then I'd say get the readily available Legacy one that's getting a package refresh in the upcoming wave, but it is still a neat and fun little package. And if you can get it for like less than 60 bucks, then I'd say get it just for the fun factor. I have my own personal issues with the deco, but I know a lot of people either don't mind or really like the metallic one. But that's my look at Transformers animated Hydrodive Bumblebee. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.